Okay, so this is a another little experience that I had that I thought was kind of interesting. This is a visual approach on a beautiful day, as you can see, into an airport that I know very well. At this on this flight, the DA42 was loaded to about 60 kilos less than its maximum landing mass. And I was, of course, aware of this, and I had flown 2 sectors that day, and the other landing I did was kept at a appropriately high landing speed. I set it down very gently on the tarmac. I chose long runways, and I plan to do the same thing at on this landing. But a visual approach is less predictable for the tower when you come in. If you're doing an ILS or an RNAV approach, you're flying a given route. They can predict your track miles. They know about how long it's going to take you, and it's easier for them to slot traffic in. When you're doing a visual, you can take a nice long leisurely stretch out around to connect with the inbound, or you can treat it like you're flying VFR, and set your sights on the runway and turn in a little bit more aggressively to put it down. And the tower doesn't know which one you're going to do, so it's not easy for them to know how long you're going to need. So in the event, in this landing, I didn't want to take a lot of extra time flying on the outbound. So as soon as I knew I could get onto a reasonably stabilized final, I turned in for my final leg. And as I did that, the tower cleared a PA28 for landing. He was coming in on a left-hand circuit. I was coming in on a right-hand circuit. There was no conflict in that I saw the PA28 easily, and we were never close to each other. But as he landed, it became clear to both me and the tower that I was not going to be able to complete that approach, because he would never get off the runway in time for me to land. And the tower kind of suggested, if you can keep your approach speed, lower, maybe you'll make it. And I tried that. I tried making my approach speed lower, but I didn't. I knew I had some limit there. And as you're going to see, as I spin this forward to where the approach comes in, I actually slowed down to the point where I got a wobble in the roll plane, which is the beginning of a stall behavior, which of course is extremely disconcerting. And as you'll see on the tape, then I give it power, sink the nose, get it to stabilize, put the gear up, full power, and go around, clean up, and then do another approach and land okay. But what I want to show you is this stall behavior, because it demonstrates what the FAA talks about a lot in terms of cause of accidents, which is people in the circuit who let their speed deteriorate and just stall and spin into the ground. So it gets your attention when it happens, and I want to show it to you, because if you fly, you'll recognize how scary this would be. Okay, so let's go fast forward a little bit. Okay, so here you see I've passed the threshold. My gear is down. The flaps, I've got approach flaps down. I'm looking at the threshold and making my turn onto base. And soon I'm going to turn onto final. I've been cleared on the approach, obviously. Not cleared to land yet, but at the same time, this PA28 gets cleared to land and comes in right in front of me. You can see him right There he is, right here, coming in right under the visor. Now he's in front of me. And he's saying slow down. Now if you look at my speed, if you look at the backup speed indicator, you'll see it's going to point at what looks like 3 o'clock on that clock. That's 80 knots on that indicator. If you look at a photograph of that indicator, that's 80 knots is at 3 o'clock. And now you see it, I'm letting it get under 80 knots. Not a lot under, but under it. And now watch what happens. See it start to wobble? Watch. Now it's wobbling a lot. Look at this wobble. So I push the speed, the throttles up. Drop the nose a little bit to gain speed. You see the speed start to go back up. Then I put the gear in. Get positive rate. Put the flaps up. Anyway. And then I'm going for the go around. I don't know if you could recognize it on film, but that was a pretty unusual feeling, and for the airplane to just sort of roll like that all by itself. It felt very mushy and uncomfortable. Not an experience you want to have. Okay, so here I'm coming in for the actual landing that after my go around. Now, if you look at the airspeed again on the auxiliary clock, you can see it's up around 90, 95 on my approach speed, which with this weight, you know, that's normally what I would do if I wasn't trying to slow down. And you see over the threshold, I'm still at 90. And then only after I get over the threshold do I let it come down toward 80, which is where I was on the approach before. And now I'm still not as low, the speed isn't as I was before, and now you can see it's at the same spot, and I'm not that far from putting it down. That's how close it was. That's how close it was. And the difference being that when you set it, when you flare, then you increase your angle of attack, which of course causes it to stall onto the runway, which I didn't do, obviously. When I went to do the go around, instead of increasing my angle of attack, I put the nose down, so I increased the lift. But it was very close, so I thought you might want to see that. Could be of some interest.